You guys, these are actually really cool. If you are looking for a rugged midsize SUV that costs right around $50,000, you have options. First, we have got the truck-based Toyota 4Runner. This is all new for the first time in 15 years. Thank God. Then we have the Jeep Grand Cherokee. People have really loved this vehicle for the past 30 years or so. And finally, the new for 2026 Honda Passport. Finally got the rugged makeover it deserves, and it got a personality kick to boot. We'll come through the interiors, the tech, the cargo, and of course, we're gonna find out how they drive to see which one deserves a space in your driveway. Now this is Honda at its best. This vehicle has got more storage than 5 pairs of your dad's jorts that he got at Costco.
Wow.
But Honda keeps throwing around all these adjectives like bold, tough, rugged, and I have to wonder, does all that extra personality mean more problems? So let's start with what Honda gets right. And the storage in here, seriously, it is unmatched. I've got these cool 3-tier door pockets. I have my favorite little shelf right here, a giant center console, and the phone area is really big with wireless charging. And then there's like this rubberized, like topo map inspired grippy stuff so your phone doesn't slide around when you're driving. Honda put 10 cup holders in this thing, and a bunch of them can hold these giant water bottles that y'all seem to like so much. I mean, look at this, is great. Now the Pilot really nailed the cup holder and storage game, and it's cool to see that the Passport is doing the exact same thing. And the materials in here are really good quality as well. I mean, I love the way these knobs feel here. I'm digging on the contrasting stitching, and plus you've got this like camo pattern around here. It's not filled with piano black because that just leaves fingerprints and it's really annoying. And everything that you use on a daily basis is an actual physical button. Like, check this out, 360-degree camera, boom, end of the stock. Boom, right there on the screen. You don't have to go messing around with any menus or submenus. Oh, and let's talk about the screen because I totally dig what's happening here. First of all, it's a good size and it's in a very good location. The screen itself is super responsive, really quick to the inputs, and you can set it to have like a little clicky sound so you know that this thing is doing exactly what your finger wants it to do. But here's the super big deal. Every single Passport gets Google integrated. So not only do you have Google Maps, and you also get apps from the Play Store, that's pretty cool too. You also have Google Assistant. So, hey Google, tell me a joke.
Did you hear about the snowman that got upset when the sun came out? He had a total meltdown.
It's so great. And what's even better is that Honda gives you a very generous trial of all of this technology, 3 years. And listen, if you don't want to shell out money after your free trial is over, I get it. You still have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And however you're going to listen to your music, this vehicle has got a 12-speaker stereo system that sounds pretty good. And even the base Passport, you get 9 speakers. Now there's one more screen behind the steering wheel and it's actually really well thought out. So the right-hand side is customizable. So I can see what my safety support is, my tire pressures, if I have any maintenance, all of this information is right here at your fingertips, including Google Maps. As for the front seats, look, they're really comfortable and there's a good amount of adjustability. Now, some of my colleagues have said that they thought that the ventilated seats, that feature's a little bit loud, but you know, first world problems, right? Honestly, this really sets a new bar for Honda's interiors. I mean, in the past, we've liked parts of the Pilot's interior or the Civic or the CR-V, but it was like features were kind of locked into certain trims or you couldn't get the right screen or, you know, there were always something that was missing. This finally brings it all together in one package. Now in the back here, we have a ton of space, way more than the other two in this challenge. The seats, however, they're not really that comfortable. The cushions are a little hard. I can't recline them. The angle's a little upright, not really my favorite. But the middle seat, which usually is the worst seat in the house, it's pretty comfy. I might choose to sit right here. So one thing I appreciate about the Passport is that you have these super fast 60-watt USB-C chargers down here for the second row. I mean, you also get them in the first row, but these things, they're gonna charge your phone like that. You can even charge a computer. And if you get the Trail Sport or Trail Sport Elite trims, you even get a household outlet. And I love the thoughtful touches that you get back here. Like for example, this pocket, okay? It's good, you can put your phone here, you can put a granola bar. So your kid is like, oh, I'm hungry, let's go to Taco Bell. No, eat your granola bar. And listen, if you have little ones, the latch anchors are really easy to find. Plus, you've got all this room, like installing it, it's not a big deal. Now, when it comes to the cargo space in the Passport, Honda is doing stuff with space and probably time that is deserving of a Nobel Prize in physics. I mean, look at how much space is back here. I got cubby. I got this little cubby right here that is big enough to fit my backpack in. So I still have like a flat load floor. Now, this load floor is a little bit lower than what's in the 4Runner. The Honda has its own little game changer. And that's this little button right here. So say I've got my arms full of stuff. I'm gonna press this button, gather up the rest of my stuff, and just walk away. Now in the Honda, where you're gonna feel some of that ruggedness is definitely in the driving experience, but you might not mind it so much. So under the hood here, we've got this same engine and transmission as what's in the Pilot, and that is a good thing. However, here it's been re-geared just a little bit, so the Passport actually feels just a little bit quicker off the line. This V6 sounds really good, it pulls really strong, so you're not gonna have any problems with merging or passing people out on the highway. But if you want to, like, let's say, accelerate while going up a hill, you're gonna have to give it the beans. Now, that's not really that much different from the other SUVs that we have here, but it's just something to notice. Every Passport is going to come with all of the driver's aid standard, and that includes adaptive cruise control and lane centering. And thankfully, it also includes blind spot monitoring, because that C-pillar back there, it's pretty big, and looking over your shoulder can be a little bit tricky. Now, I wish that we had the little blind spot camera in the dashboard here like you get with some of the Kia and the Hyundai vehicles, but alas, it is not to be. The Passport does have, off-road tuned shocks, which means that they're a little bit softer. Now, that's really nice for like going over bumps. It's very comfortable. However, if you drive a little bit aggressively, like if you accelerate really quickly, you might find that the whole weight transfer, it's very easy to go backwards, or you slam on the brakes and suddenly the whole front end is dipping. Now, again, you got to be pretty aggressive. Normal driving, you're not really going to feel it. But if you have a passenger that's prone to a little bit of car sickness, that might be a problem. In the steering, I noticed like a little dead spot right here in the center. And sometimes like going around a turn, you just feel like a little bit sluggish in the steering. And the Passport gets the worst gas mileage out of the bunch, about 20 miles per gallon. Now, if you don't want the softer suspension, you can get a different trim. It's called the RTL. That's going to make the ride a little bit stiffer, and it's also going to give you slightly better gas mileage. Now, if you want to see how this Passport Trail Sport does on the dirt, don't worry. Brian Wong, he went out and did a whole video on it, so check it out. You guys, I really like this one. I mean, the Passport combines everything that we like about other Hondas. And the Trail Sport, with its softer suspension and its light steering, I mean, it just kind of plays into the character of the vehicle. I mean, look at it. It looks sick. Consider me charmed. Exhaust in the bumper? Ooh, fancy pants. 4x4 badge? Whoa, go anywhere, do anything. Jeep is really trying to combine both luxury and capability with the new Grand Cherokee, but getting that balance right, it's not easy and it's not cheap. So, how do they pull off the luxury bit? Well, the first thing I notice when I get in here is I like this leather that's happening here. The quality is really good, and I've got some brushed aluminum trim, which is great because it's not so overwhelming, but it still imbues a sense of sophistication. Now, in this Overland trim, these seats are actually pretty comfortable up here, but if you want like extra lukes, you can go to the top trim and you can get massaging seats, and that is not true of the other two vehicles. The rotary shifter here, I mean, it looks pretty premium, but then once you use it, it's got a little bit of play and it kind of takes you out of that luxury mindset. And then can we talk about all of this piano black here in this super high traffic area? You guys, it's a terrible idea. It leaves fingerprints everywhere. It never looks good. It'll like reflect the sun back into your eyes. This doesn't look good unless it's on a website or in the dealership, and it shouldn't be in here. All right, let's talk tech, shall we? Now, in the limited and above trims of the Grand Cherokee, of which this Overland is one of them, you get a 10.1-inch screen. Now, this is the oldest operating system and it's the smallest screen of the bunch, but I gotta say, it's not too bad. Like, it's pretty quick to respond and the layout is really intuitive. And listen, if you don't like it, just use wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto because that is there too. Oh, and if you're like a huge audiophile, this vehicle right here, 19 speaker Macintosh stereo system. But lower trims, you're still gonna get a 9-speaker system. But we've actually got a different problem here. I mean, look, I love the fact that all of the commonly used functions, those are all on physical knobs and buttons. Great, fantastic, love it, thank you. But all of these buttons and dials, they're placed in like really non-ergonomic positions. I mean, the angle's all weird. And then the screen here, it's like angled up like this. So if you've got the sunroof open, you just get a whole bunch of glare and it's just not very good. Now, the screen behind the steering wheel is actually a different story. It's a little complicated, there is a bit of a learning curve, but you can put a bunch of different information up there once you figure it all out. And I really love the fact that Jeep has given me a bunch of USB ports. I've got 4 USB ports here, both A and C. So none of your devices should ever run out of battery when you're on a road trip in the Grand Cherokee. Now, as for storage, I mean, it's not bad. I've got a lot of room here in my door pockets, and I do have this center console that's like a little 2-layer thing, but the design means I can't fit my water bottle in here. Like, no, that's not happening. But I can fit a regular water bottle here. This big guy, that's not gonna happen. But if you can get a water bottle shaped like this, you're mostly golden, mostly. It's a little crooked. It's okay, it's all right. All right, now that I'm in the back seat here, I mean, like, there's a little bit of luxury. Like, at least these seats recline. It's kind of like an airplane seat recline, but it's all right. But they just don't have as much room. I mean, my seat here is set for my own driving position. I don't have a lot of leg room. My toes have a hard time fitting underneath the front seat because it's mounted close to the floor. Plus, this rear seat is mounted close to the floor, so I kind of feel like my knees are pretty high. And all in all, the cushions are not all that comfortable. But I'm gonna give Jeep credit because I've got my own climate control system back here, including heated seats. I've got 5 different ways to charge any kind of device that I might have. And Jeep is the only vehicle out of these 3 that will offer its own rear seat entertainment center. Now, can you do the same thing with a cheap tablet? I mean, yes, but look, it's there if you wanna buy it. Now, if you don't have little ones, the latch anchors are covered, but if you do, just open it up and they're right there, really easy to access. The door doesn't open quite as much as it does on the Honda Passport, but I still think it's gonna be easy to get a car seat in here. Now, in the Jeep Grand Cherokee, I actually have the least amount of cargo space here. It's not necessarily because of the floor here, it's because of the way the roof line is. You just don't get that upper cargo space. Plus, I don't really have a lot of cubbies, and if I need to fold down this second row, there's no latch here, so I can't do it from back here. I have to get out and walk all the way around, which is kind of a bummer. But there's a couple of cool things. First of all, if I put the vehicle in entry-exit mode with the air suspension, I've got the lowest load floor of the bunch, and I've also got a 12-volt, which is pretty cool, and 4 cargo tie-downs. So I'm down with that. Plus, automatic doors. So what's the Grand Cherokee like to drive? Well, under this hood, I've got that V6 that is pretty darn old. It's been around since about 2009. However, there's plenty of power here and the efficiency isn't that much different from everything else that we're testing today. The one good thing is that the Grand Cherokee can tow a little bit more than the 4Runner and it can tow 1,200 pounds more than the Passport. I wish the transmission shift just a little bit smoother and the ride quality here is, I mean, it's okay. Have I been in better, smoother cars? Yes. Have I been in worse? Absolutely. But the good news is that it is pretty quiet inside the cabin. Now, the handling here, again, like the ride quality, I mean, it's just kind of fine. I mean, it's not athletic or anything, but neither is it a slow poke around corners. The steering here is the heaviest of the 3, but again, that's not saying much. Now, the driver's aids in the Jeep Grand Cherokee, guess what, you guys? They're fine. I know, that is the through line here. You get what you need. However, if you want like lane centering, you need to pony up for an extra package, and that is $3,000. But the good news is in that package, you also get a head-up display as well as a 360-degree camera. So, I mean, it's not all bad. And the Jeep is the only vehicle of these three that actually has a proper hands-free, eyes-up highway driving assistant. Now, you can only get it on the top two trims of the Grand Cherokee, and it's an extra $3,000, but we have driven this in the Ram 1500, and we really like this system. Now, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, I mean, honestly, it's kind of a mixed bag, right? I mean, there's some nice luxury features that you can't get in the other vehicles. It's comfortable enough, it's spacious enough, it drives okay, but at the end of the day, there's some interior features that just feel a little cheap. Plus, there's no innovation here. I mean, it's just like, it's fine. It's just fine. Phew, that's a whole lot of screen. Maybe too much screen. Somehow Toyota has managed to go a little bit too far and somehow not far enough with the new 4Runner. All right, let's talk about this display. Now, with the 4Runner, you can get two different sized screens. We've got a top trim, so we've got the largest screen, and this is the largest screen that you can get out of all three vehicles that we have here today. The problem is that it just kind of looks like an iPad just like glued onto the dash, and that to me really goes against the 4Runner's like rough and tumble nature. Now, as an infotainment system, like it's not bad. It's pretty responsive, but if you want navigation, well, you're gonna have to subscribe and you only get a small trial period. And that goes for all connected services. Hey, Toyota, tell me a joke.
Sorry, you have to be subscribed to connected services to use navigation.
Yeah, well, the joke's on you because I got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. And if your phone is running out of juice, all but the lowest trim get 5 USB-C ports between the front and the rear, as well as a wireless charging pad. The gauge cluster here is on a par with the Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's a little difficult to figure out, but once you do, man, you've got a lot of information right there in front of you. So I really like these like chunky dials right here, and I've got a big beefy gear selector, and it'd be easy to operate all of this while I'm wearing gloves in the wintertime. I mean, of all the vehicles that we have here, the 4Runner really does feel like a big, boxy, off-roady SUV. I mean, even the passengers got a little chicken bar right here. Passengers also get the little shelf right here, which I dig. I've got a fair amount of space here in the center console, and I've got 2 tiers on the door for storage. Now, some of my colleagues don't like this space right here. I love it. I think that is a great place to put small little off-road tools. Yeah, this is a limited trim, but hey, you never know. You might find some dirt somewhere. Now, if you got a big old Papa Bear water bottle, well, it's not gonna fit in there, but maybe it'll fit in the center console. That would be no, Bob. But if you have a water bottle like this with a skinnier base and a handle, like fits in there pretty good, but it's just not really all that stable. So these seats, the comfort is more than just about the cushioning, it's about the ergonomics of it. Like my elbow fits really good here, my elbow and hand fit really good here. It's just a comfortable driving position. But y'all, there's a lot of plastic happening in here. The good news is there's no piano black, but man, plastic, hard dash, questionable. Back seat, we have a few problems. It is so tiny back here. I hardly have any room for my knees. I can't stick my toes under the seat in front of me, and this headroom is atrocious. Plus, the seats are really hard and they're very, very flat. But hey, like, they recline pretty good. That's cool, I guess. Now, the limited space back here, it's not just an issue for your adult friends. If you've got little kids, it might be a problem as well. Now, sure, the latch anchors, those are easy to find, but if you've got a rear-facing car seat, it might be a little bit difficult to get that car seat in here because the doors are narrower. You're gonna have to move the passenger seat forward. Now, if you want any agency over your life, too bad, because you can't even control your temperature from back here. They've got to do it up there. But you do get 2 USB-C ports as well as a household outlet, so digging that. But y'all, the 4Runner's got a little party trick. It has an optional 3rd row. Now look, I'm not saying it's the easiest thing to get back here, and I'm also not saying that you're gonna wanna put like anyone that you really like back here. I'm just saying that it's possible. Now, is this the only one of the 3 that actually offers a 3rd row? I mean, sure. In the others, you would need to go up to either the Grand Cherokee or the Pilot if you want to shove more people into the car, but is this really worth it? I mean, look at this. This is not appropriate for an actual adult human. maybe for a 5-minute ride across town, like twice a year, okay, but no, not on the regular. And y'all, this is a $1,300 option. Don't treat your friends like this. Just don't. Now in the back of the 4Runner, I've got some cargo tie downs, and there's even a household outlet that you can get up to 2,400 watts, which is enough to power a Starlink. Now the load floor is a little bit high, and that also means that it takes up a little bit of space, but I mean, I'm okay with it. Every single 4Runner is going to have an automatic lift gate in the back, and if you spend a little bit of extra money, you can get a hands-free run as well. But here's what's really awesome. So like I forgot to put my backpack in. Check it out. The window rolls down, and then all I need to do is take what I forgot, throw it in, put the window back up. I love it. Now look, the 4Runner might be an SUV, but underneath it, it's a truck. So think of it like a Tacoma with more roof and less bed. So it's gonna drive like a truck. Guess what, y'all? I was right. This totally drives like a truck. It drives like a Tacoma -3. I mean, I thought that this was gonna have like maybe a slightly better ride quality because there's more weight in the back without the bed, but I was totally wrong. I feel like every little vibration, every little bump in the road is coming up into the cabin. Plus there's a lot of body roll, and the steering is really light, and the ratio isn't that quick. So going around a turn, I feel like I have to put a lot of input into the steering just to make like a standard 90-degree right-hand turn. Now, you might not care about any of that because like, ooh, it looks all cool and off-roady, and like, that's fine, you do you. But of these 3 vehicles, this one is definitely the worst riding. However, under the hood, this one has got a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine as opposed to the V6s in the others. And this one produces more power and more torque while maintaining basically the same gas mileage. That's pretty cool. You can also get a performance hybrid motor in the 4Runner that will give you even more power and more torque, but you don't get any better gas mileage, and it costs like an extra $5,000. So just keep that in mind. You do get all the driver's aid standard like you do in the Honda, but you also get something called proactive driver assist. And if you're not ready for it, it can be a little disarming. Basically, the vehicle will brake for you when it thinks that you should brake and steer for you when it thinks that you should steer. I turned it off. Y'all might like it, but it is definitely not my bag. I am the driver. I want to be in control. And if you want to tow your weekend toys behind the 4Runner, you can tow about 1,000 pounds more than you can in the Pilot. Good job. Look, the new 4Runner is definitely a more refined and better driving vehicle than the truck it replaces, but still the screen is way too big and there is not nearly enough room in there. I mean, we've already got a ton of disappointments compared to the other two, and I haven't even started talking about pricing yet. Now, before we talk money and declare a winner, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. And you know what? If you didn't like the video, then let us know in the comments. We read all of them, and even my mom does it, so be nice. All right, let's talk money. Now, no big surprise here. The Passport is $6,000 cheaper than the other vehicles that we've got, and like, it just doesn't feel like it. I mean, at all. I've got a ton of great features in here for the price. Honda finally gave us a vehicle with everything that we ever wanted in one complete SUV. And then we've got the 4Runner with its $63,000 price tag. I mean, you guys, that hurts, right? I mean, there's a lot to like about the 4Runner when it comes to its like trucky qualities, its truck-like character, but at the end of the day, it's not as well-rounded, it's not as refined, and it doesn't have the space to really compete here. Now the Grand Cherokee, it's got the lowest price floor of any of these vehicles. So if you just need an SUV of this size and you're okay with the base model with, cloth seats, a small screen, and maybe rear-wheel drive, then by all means, have at it. The problem is that Jeep's combination of luxury and 4x4, it just doesn't really land the way I think Jeep wanted it to land. I would like a better quality interior. A Land Rover, this is not. Okay, y'all, it is verdict time. Now look, none of these SUVs are bad SUVs. It's just that, well, there is one clear winner. Okay, now that you know what we think, I want to know what you think. Are you all in on the Passport? What about the styling on the Grand Cherokee? Oh, are you all about the third row in the 4Runner? Oh, no. What do you think of my shorts? All right, we'll see you next time.